We got it all together for a brand new show. The LBC crew is here and so away we go. While the LBC crew is running from a spooky ghost, Christatos is doing what he does the most. Hey, come on, get involved till the mystery is solved. Hang around with the LBC crew. Oh, hey, come on, get involved till the mystery is solved. Hang around with the LBC crew. That's the podcast. LBC Crew. Hello and welcome to another fun-filled mystery episode of the LBC Crew Show. I'm your host, Pat, DJ Christatos. For this episode, we will continue with another case the LBC Crew will cover from the book Minute Mysteries by H.A. Ripley. These will be short-minute mystery stories presented with an LBC Crew twist. At the end of the story, we will take a break to give you, the listeners, a chance to use your detective skills to help the LBC Crew solve the mystery. Will you get it right, or will you get it wrong? Listen carefully to the clues to help you along. Now, let's open up the LBC Crew case file called A Yachtsman's Alibi.
I've often remarked,
said Professor Dark Web in an expansive mood,
how very difficult it is to fake an alibi without someone's assistance. A case in point is a messy affair we cleared up recently. I didn't definitely suspect Death Probe when I happened to bump into him at the 4th of July parade, the morning after an acquaintance of his had been found dead under suspicious circumstances. I rather casually asked him where he had been and what he had been doing the previous afternoon about 4 o'clock, the apparent time of the man's death. He related the following story.
I took my sailboat out at about noon yesterday. Oh, it was great on the water. Around 3 o'clock, however, when I was perhaps 10 miles out, the wind died down completely. There wasn't a breath of air. And I knew that unless I could attract some boat, I was in for an uncomfortable time. Remembering that the international distress signal is a flag flown upside down, I ran mine up to the top of the mast in that manner. Thank God it was a clear day. In about an hour, the steamer Leone hove to, and I went aboard her after securing my boat with a tow line. The captain said he'd seen my distress signal about 4 miles away and would put me ashore at Gladsome Landing. He did so, and there was no one about. I hailed a passing motorist who gave me a lift back to town. Imagine my surprise when I read in the paper this morning that the Leone had been sunk in a storm after putting me ashore, and all hands had been lost.
While I knew,
remarked the Professor Dark Web,
that the Leone had been sunk with all on board, after hearing Death Probe's story, I immediately arrested him on suspicion of murder.
What was wrong with Death Probe's alibi?
Did you hear the clues to help you solve this mystery? We will take a short break to let you review your notes and return with the solution to this mystery. We will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
Hi, I'm Tim from Cord Industries, the Blue Beetle blog. I'm here to tell you about an exciting new addition to the Silver and Gold family of podcasts. The show is Beatlemania, and it focuses on what is arguably one of the greatest superheroes in all of comics history, Blue Beetle. From the adventures of Dan Garrett the cop in the 1930s to Dan Garrett the archaeologist in the 1960s. From everyone's favorite Ted Kord to the more recent adventures of Jaime Reyes, we'll be covering the entire legacy of the Blue Beetle. And I won't be doing it alone. Joining me for this epic journey through the lives of the Blue Beetle will be Jay from the Silver and Gold podcast. Together, we'll be discussing, reviewing, and celebrating the awesomeness of all of the Beatles. Beatlemania, coming soon to sngpod.com and cordindustries.blogspot.com.
Welcome back from the break. Were you able to piece the clues together to help the LBC crew solve this mystery? Let's go ahead and find out.
Here's the solution. As Death Probe said, there was no breeze. The distress flag would have hung limp against the mast, and the captain could not have seen at that distance whether or not the flag was upside down. That's all Professor Dark Web needed to determine the falsity of his alibi. However, Death Probe was a poor sailor. While the international distress signal is a flag flown upside down, it is by custom and regulation always flown at half-mast. And the sea charmed into a calm so still that not a wrinkle ruffles her smooth face. Thus spoke Dryden.
And that will put this case to a close. We hope you were able to solve the mystery and had fun along the way with the LBC crew. Before you go, let me tell you where you can find the LBC crew on the internet. You can find the Longbox Crusade on iTunes, Google Play, and most podcatchers, or at www.longboxcrusade.com. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Longbox Crusade. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube. Thanks for listening to this episode of the LBC Crew Show and helping the LBC crew solve this mystery. Until next time, hashtag LBC Crew. We got it all together for a brand new show. The LBC crew is here and so away we go. While the LBC crew is running from a spooky ghost, Christatos is doing what he does the most. Hey, come on, get involved till the mystery is solved. Hang around with the LBC crew. Oh, Hey, come on, get involved till the mystery is solved. Hang around with the LBC crew. That's the podcast. LBC Crew.